and a very good evening to you. You're listening to the Modern Mystic radio show on A1R Psychic Radio, the world's #1 psychic radio network, and also on Moonstruck TV. I hope you've been enjoying this week so far. I want to go into a little bit about the energy, but before I do, I just want to remind you of how you can get in contact with me. I'm a professional psychic of over 27 years, 28 years now this year. I work in a variety of different ways. I'm a natural psychic, but I do use tools as well. Also a spiritual development teacher, and also work with various different healing modalities as well. So if you do want to get hold of me, if you want that private reading, you can do on my through my website, which is www.modern-mystic.co.uk, or you can find me on Facebook under Modern Mystic and also Mystic Saira, and you can contact me through there. I do a live free psychic session once a week. This is normally on a Thursday at 8 p.m. GMT. And you can join in with that. It's always good fun. It's very fast paced, and you can have a quick mini reading there if you so wish. Okay, so let's get on with my topic for today, which really is, to be honest with you, half the time I get inspired by you at home, my clients as well, in terms of what I want to talk about. And it's been an incredible month so far. I know we're only halfway through. But what I've noticed is that people are going through really, really strong and powerful emotional journeys over this month. It's been a really, really difficult one. And also what I've noticed, and this is really coming in from, it's like a spillover, if you like, from December, that, kind of being faced with, our deepest fears and our deepest emotions. So what I found with my clients is that we've either got big events coming in or happening that's kind of putting everything all in a spin, putting us in all in a spin, or we've got this deep emotion that that people are experiencing as well. I noticed a lot of that over last week, with my clients. They say, "Why am I feeling like this?" And it's like, hold your horses, don't worry, it's the energy. Just bear with it. You don't need to take any action just yet. But if you are experiencing, those deep, deep emotions, just bear in mind that we are going through some pretty heavy, almost like karmic stuff as well, and pretty heavy planetary activity as well. Now, we've just had, at the beginning of the month, the supermoon. And now at the end of the month, we've got another supermoon. It's a blue moon. I'll go into the details of it probably later on in the month, but it's also a lunar eclipse. Now, what the lunar eclipse will do is actually reset the emotion. So if you just imagine this month, kind of what we're doing is really clearing all of those residual emotions, maybe even all of our residual karma. And, for many, yes, it's hitting in one big lump, and it's quite difficult to kind of fathom and get our heads around and work through. And for other people, it's just really manifesting as a very intense emotional clearing. So if that's something you're going through, don't forget we are being reset at the end of the month. So hopefully, as we step into February, which again has been featuring very, very heavily in my private readings, that's when the new energy seems to be starting. Last week I talked about the energy of 2018 being one of spiritual illumination, and also really focusing on relationships as well, and possibly soulmate twin flame energy as well. So that is coming in. It hasn't gone anywhere, but I just feel that we're dealing with some pretty heavy emotion as we are clearing, ready for the next phase, ready to start afresh. And the question sort of came to me, well, we're going through all of this. What can we actually do? How can we move through this in an easy fashion? I mean, number one is obviously not to sit there and panic and think, oh my goodness, everything's going wrong. It's more about looking at our inner landscape looking at what's going on inside, because as you're probably well aware, our inner landscape dictates really what we manifest, our external reality. Now, if things are coming up, it doesn't mean that you're manifesting something really bad. It just means you need to look at that inner landscape a little bit deeper and really start focusing on your dominant emotion. So if your dominant emotion is perhaps fear or frustration or boredom or sadness, this is something you can proactively do in terms of cultivating a different dominant emotion. Which will take a little bit of time. I've worked on this myself before, and from a lot of research that I've done, if you are consistent with anything, you can change a pattern or a habit within a 3-week period, providing you are consistent. Also, what I wanted to kind of cover briefly is spiritual development, because obviously I'm a spiritual development teacher. I get a lot of calls about or a lot of questions about which courses they can do, how they can develop, etc., etc. And yes, you can learn different techniques and learn to use different tools. But there's a very important element within spiritual development that I think a lot of us miss. Even people that are perhaps working psychically or healers, therapists, or what have you. One of the most important areas to kind of look at when we're looking at our own personal spiritual growth is our lives so far. There's a huge amount to be gained from our own experiences. And as we're coming into this resetting period, I feel like it's more important than ever to really kind of go throughout our lives and have a look at those lessons and really assimilate them and take them on board and work with them and see where your growth is, because you would have experienced a huge amount of growth in that period. And this is, again, it's one of the things that I kind of teach quite a lot. You go so far with courses and perhaps books that you read and what have you, but eventually you will learn through your own life, and you will be taught through your own life, through your guides, maybe even through the lives of others, the lives of clients. It's all a journey. So as we're heading into this resetting period at the end of the month, have a good look at what your life has been telling you and showing you and you've been experiencing without judgment. And if you have been unfortunate enough to kind of experience a big event over this month or last month, as we've been going through this clearing, another aspect really is to kind of go through it with acceptance, and not to focus too heavily on the finer details. Just see what it's kind of brought to you. Maybe you had to let go of a lot of emotion that's deep-seated. Maybe you had to reprioritize your life. Maybe there's something there that has made you see what really is important in life. So have a good think of, in terms of that. Now, I believe I have my first caller, and this is Selena from Laredo, Texas. Hello, Selena. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello,
can you hear
how
me?
are you?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Just fine, and you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. What would you like me to look at for you? Oh, it's you're more than welcome. What would you like me to have a look at for you?
What is that you're able to feel towards, or what's any messages for me that you have that come in
Okay.
right now?
Right.
You can tap on.
Okay. So is there any particular area of life you would like me to look at, or just anything?
Right now I'm single, so I don't have a partner. Going through financial issues right now, and just the normal things.
Okay. Let me just have a look and see what I get for you.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So I'm just going to pull out some cards for you. You have fantastic cards. I love the look of this. Really, really do. Amazing. Okay. So If I'm looking at you, I mean, I feel for you. I actually want to go back 5 years here with you, or over the last 5 years, because I feel that for whatever reason, it feels like things have been very difficult for you to kind of, how can I put it, get to where you want to be, explore your
Yes.
potential. I feel the word's held back. You feel like you've been held back.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
It does.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
because what I'm being shown here is this really has impacted virtually every area of your life.
Yes.
I feel for you, I feel with you. I mean, I do feel this year is going to be completely different, I have to say. You've got some fantastic aspects coming into your life. I'm really drawn towards two very big areas that I feel are going to be changing between spring and summer of this year. I'm being shown here. I mean, what I want to say is around March time, this is where I feel like I've got all the emotional stuff, the relationship, a big relationship coming in, and a brand new beginning coming in as well. I feel that it's like you've started off this year with, real positivity. I feel like you do this every year, actually. You start off with real positivity, and it's right. I'm going to do this. I'm going to change that, and blah 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 blah. And you've come in with exactly the same energy as you do every year. But this year, I feel like quite early on, February, March, this is where I feel like you're moving forwards. I love, love, love the energy of March for you. That for me is really bringing in a very deep and meaningful relationship that I feel actually has, real potential, I want to go to March with that specifically and head into April, where I feel like, it's almost like I get you this relationship coming into your life, and you're going to take a few weeks to, you'll be questioning it. Is this really as good as it looks, or, is it just going to fall apart? Because there's something here about, relationships for you. I don't know whether it's over the last sort of maybe couple of years, almost like fizzling out quite quickly. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like you haven't really been given the opportunity to really delve into it. However, I do feel that you are so ready. I keep on being drawn towards a female in spirit that I feel is also, it's like really close to you. So I want to say this is like a mother, grandmother person that I've got coming through. Just going to get my spirit message cards out to see what I can kind of get here. Again, I see she's kind of clapping her hands here, so I feel like the celebrations coming in for you, particularly, like I said, the love area. Obviously, that's a great big highlight here for you, but we've also got some big work aspects coming in, work focus coming in. And like I said, I feel like I'm drawn towards the springtime here with that. I feel that there needs to be a very, very big push with the work area. You're ready for the next jump and you're ready for the next level. It's like, I feel for the past year, everything has kind of been, it's almost like you've been in transition. I just feel like there's this stillness here.
Yes.
Where not an awful lot has happened. You've not been able to progress. That's the word. You've not been able to progress.
That's true.
I feel that, you're very, very supported by Spirit. I do feel that. But also, I feel like your faith has been tested a lot, particularly in people. That's what I get here with this. So you've been very let down by others.
Yes.
And again, I want to say friends, family, relationships. I feel like you've had to be very solid. It's been quite a solitary path for you, where it feels like you've kind of been left to it, to just deal with everything, without the support, despite the fact that you have always been, you know, incredibly supportive and helpful of other people. It seems as though you've not received that yourself particularly, you know.
Yes.
So it's been quite a hard journey for you. I want to say, so I've been drawn to around May, where I feel that there is, where I've got all this focus on work. Okay. I feel like I've got you either landing, a much, much better job, or changing your career or something like that, because I feel like I've got a massive shift coming in around work. And what I'm being shown here is something coming to you, like a job offer, what have you, a proposal coming through. So I feel for you, this year is going to be a major year for actual positive development, you know, both within the love area and then the work area. Further into the year, I do feel like I've got you looking at more homely aspects here. So I feel like that's going to be the focus. So everything else in your life feels right. I want to say set by summer, you know. So we've got quite a progressive energy coming in for you. I want to see if I can get anything on this relationship. Okay, so right, we have here. I want to say actually quite a deep person, deep, reflective, loving, kind, almost very family orientated person as well coming through. I feel completely different energy to what you would normally go for, but this is not a bad thing, you know. I feel like this person has got that loyalty. I feel like they're, excuse me, more like you, if that makes sense.
More like me.
They're going to be more like you, okay? There's something here about previous relationships really not appearing to be a really great match at the beginning, and then you finding out that actually you're poles apart, you know, or you're on completely different pages. Does that make sense? But this relationship that I've got coming in is completely different. I feel like they're where you are, you know, and they're looking for the same thing that you are. You know, I do like the energy of this. I'm kind of getting two initials here with them as well. I'm getting the initial P. I'm also getting the initial D coming through for you. Okay, right. So is there anything you'd like to ask before I go on to the next caller?
You said that you felt like a spirit. I know that my mom's anniversary is going to come the day before my birthday in February. So she's still like, I keep seeing numbers. I keep seeing ones. I keep seeing in pairs, in threes or in fours.
Oh,
like
that's fantastic.
Fours, twos, threes, and fives. So is it that, you know, she's still around close to me and is trying to give me a message, or is it because,
to be honest with you, I mean, yes, I do feel that you are receiving messages, not just from her, not just from spirit, but also from, you know, when we start to see numbers like that, you know, it's our indication that actually something quite important is being highlighted. So it's also about your ability to manifest in your relationship with the universe, you know, as a creator of your own reality. So it's a very important sign to pay attention to. And as you're getting more and more of them, I just kind of feel here it's Spirit's way of showing you actually that there is change coming. There's some sort of shift coming. Now it might not come the following day, but it's there.
But it's coming.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel that this year is going to be a very powerful year for you.
Okay. It was just that because I didn't know what it meant. That's why, and I was like, well, now that I have you, I'll ask you what it means.
No, I mean,
but no, that was it.
You know, a lot of people experience this, and it is normally, you know, a very, very positive sign.
And this is all new to me, so that's why I wanted to ask. Since I just started, you know, changing, like you said before, Last year
Mhm.
it was totally different from this year, so everything's changing, as we go, and all these new moons, and I'm trying to think positive, and trying to see if I can manifest what I really want. So
Yeah. I mean,
I guess these are the
yeah.
signs that are showing me that I'm doing something good
Well,
as
I
we
mean, it's
go.
all like an indication that whatever it is that you have been trying to put out there and the work that you have been doing on yourself,
Hmm.
is all, being confirmed that it's almost like, getting some sort of acknowledgement, if you like, from the universe that whatever it is that you've been trying to shift and change and bring in, manifest, has been acknowledged,
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's a
I understand
confirmation
that.
for you.
Yes, it's a confirmation. Yes.
Lovely. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you, Sarah, and have a
Thank
good
you.
day. Thank you.
Thank
Many
you.
blessings.
Take care. Okay, so we're going to go straight on to our next caller, and we have Seema in Miami. Hi, Seema, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Good night. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, you're more than welcome, and thank you for joining us. Do you have a
Th-
question at all that you'd like me to look at for you?
I wanted to look at relationship.
You want to look at your relationship, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm just going to shuffle the cards for you. Okay. Right. This is an interesting one. Okay. Right. So I've got you some cards in front of you and just thinking, right, where do I want to start? Because I feel like I feel like your relationship is quite powerful, quite complicated.
Mhm.
I feel do you know, I actually feel like I've got a soulmate kind of energy here with this. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, we have a very strong connection.
It's an incredible connection, absolutely incredible. But I also feel like there are, we've got blocks, we've got problems, and the relationship is, it's quite hard work, or I want to say it's quite hard work. And I just feel like at the moment with it, you're very unclear as to as to how to overcome some of the blocks that are presenting themselves, because I feel like I'm being told here that you're both very sensitive, and I feel that, see, I'm kind of being a little bit more weighed down with your partner's energy. So uh, are you having difficulties with your partner in terms of communication or where you're going in
Yes.
the relationship? Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just trying to see what I get around your partner, because I feel it's like I feel like your partner's failing to see um, what the relationship is not leaning into the relationship. He's not. It feels like I've got him almost like pushing it away because there are other problems, other issues, emotional stuff going on with him. Okay. So I feel like it's almost like there are problems being created that actually don't necessarily need to be there. Does that make sense?
We haven't spoken in over 2 weeks. It's a new relationship, and he we haven't said that we're in a committed relationship. And I haven't spoken to him, and I don't know really what's going on.
Right. He's appearing really, really heavily in your cards.
Mhm.
I feel, I mean, you've got really powerful cards. This, like I said, this is coming up as like a soulmate or maybe even twin flame relationship. If I look at him, I feel that he's got a lot of issues that I feel like he needs to kind of clear
Okay.
before he can enter a proper committed soulmate relationship. How can I put it? The connection between the two of you is undeniable. But I feel like, I want to say be patient with this. And what I'm also being shown with this is, even though it's like it's really difficult, because I feel that even though the relationship is quite young, I feel that this not talking, this separation, if you like, excuse me, is very painful for you. Okay.
Yes.
What I'm being shown with this is, it's like, step back, allow him to sort his own head out, because I feel like like I said, there are issues around him. When I look at his emotional kind of energy, and I feel like I've got this relationship almost, I want to say, coming back online. It feels like it's coming back online. So what I want to say here, stand back, allow him to process whatever it is that he needs to process. And I feel within a time period of about a month, I've got you back in contact, and things actually starting to move forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay.
Everything that you're saying is accurate with him.
Oh, thank you. Right, I'm going to have to leave it there, because my show is now over, but thank you so much for coming through. Okay, so if you do want to get hold of me, my website is www.modern-mystic.co.uk. If you're going through those emotional things, please do not panic. We are being reset at the end of the month. I'm going to wish you lots of love and light, and I'll see you same time next week.